but welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching Shazam! Fury of the Gods, or Shazam 2, or however you want to say it. And I'm going to give a non-spoiler review first, and then I'm going to go into crazy spoilers after that, because I got some things to say and some questions to ask. So first, non-spoilers, I'm going to say up front, I think this was better than the first Shazam, and I was very surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie because of, you know, let's face it, this along with Aquaman 2 and the Flash movie, there's the DC movies that are coming out, they have a lot of baggage with them. You know, each one kind of carries their own unique baggage, but they also have the overall baggage of, you know, James Gunn gonna come in here and wipe out this entire universe, so does any of this matter? And I was very much wondering that when I went to see this movie, because I was like, surely none of this matters, right? Like, it doesn't mean anything, and we'll get into that. But yeah, just overall, I was surprised how much I still was able to enjoy this movie despite coming in with all those reservations. You know, we even had you know, it didn't blow up into like a major thing, but Zachary Levi plays Shazam. He made some tweets that were questionable. It was very vague, unclear, kind of questionable tweets, and even that didn't stop the movie from being actually really enjoyable. You know what I mean? So like, I guess it's true what they say, winning solves everything. Is that what it is? But hey, the movie was enjoyable. I was very surprised. I liked it even more than the first one. And you know, I guess it's just a lot of us get so enveloped in the fandom and the behind the scenes studio shifting and producers and directors and continuity and shared universes, and we get so caught up in this stuff that sometimes it's easy to forget that, like, if a movie is good, no matter what continuity or what, you know, whatever's happening, sometimes a movie can still just be a good movie. You know what I mean? So it's easy to forget that, but I was like, oh, that's right, it's just a good movie despite literally everything else that's happening. It's just a good movie. So, you know, there's my non-spoiler review. You know, I think a lot of the stuff I had questions about, they actually managed to handle really well, and it was funny, but it was also still lighthearted, and it was, you know, it was family friendly, but not too family friendly. They still sprinkled in a couple of adult jokes in there, you know, so they definitely, like, they didn't go full Deadpool or anything, but they definitely, like, you know, they made it available for everyone. You know, I would say anyone could enjoy this movie. Now, I know that you know, its box office tracking is not doing so well, so I'm not expecting this movie to be a huge hit, which is kind of a shame because, like I said, it's actually enjoyable. You know what I mean? It's funny that, like, you know, we get so many experiences where it's like, oh man, this movie kind of sucked, and everyone's worried, and everyone's, you know, Ant-Man comes out and it doesn't do so well, and everyone's really worried about the MCU right now. And then Shazam, everyone just kind of forgot. It's like, oh, that's right, the Shazam movie was good. You know, and not many people are gonna end up watching this one, I don't think, unless word of mouth, you know, brings those ticket sales up this weekend. But I will say, yeah, it was enjoyable. I had a good time. I'm as shocked as anyone, but I really did. I like all the characters. They all have, like, their own little moments, or at least most of them do, and it works. The family dynamic works. The humor works. You know, they balanced everything really well. They did it. Okay, you know, and there's elephants in the room. James Gunn, obviously. Does any of this matter? And so we're gonna get into some spoilers here, okay? Because I can't really talk about the whole continuity situation without getting into spoilers. So there you go. There's your warning. Spoilers. I'm gonna talk about after credit scenes. I'm gonna talk about the ending of this movie because I was shocked at how interconnected it was. All right, here we go. Spoilers. Woo! Spoilers. Okay, so the first thing, we're going to talk about the ending of this movie. So after Shazam fights the big bad guy with the dragon, and, you know, they do the whole thing, Shazam dies. Shazam dies, like, for real, not like fake dies or like, oh, I got you. Like, no, they even, like, make the joke like, surely he's gonna wake up. No, he doesn't. He dies. He is dead. He's a dead person. The hero dies. And then they do what they kind of joked about earlier in the movie. They made a joke about like, oh yeah, you know, he's gonna call Wonder Woman because she's a demigod, right? And they kind of have this system where you can message demigods through like this magic god paper note thing that turns into a bird and it'll fly to them or something. So, you know, and they're fighting demigods in this movie. And so even when I watched the trailers, I was like, well, hold on, these are the daughters of Atlas, but in this universe Wonder Woman is the daughter of Zeus, so shouldn't they, you know, shouldn't they be calling her, shouldn't she be related? And they do handle that by like literally putting a dome so the outside universe can't get involved with this fight. But yeah, like I said, Billy Batson dies and it all seems over, and they're having like a funeral in the god realm, and you know, they're like, we're gonna bury him like a god in this realm, you know. And so they have the magical staff that could rebirth the realm, but all the gods are dead. All three of the god sisters that they were fighting die, and Billy Batson was the last person that had any powers left, and he died, so no one has powers, there's no godhood left, right? And then and then Wonder Woman shows up and she says, actually, there's one god left, because remember, she's the daughter of Zeus. And so she grabs the staff, the wizard's staff, and she, you know, hits it on the ground, and the god realm starts coming back to life, and Shazam comes back to life because he was dead for real. So he comes back to life, and Wonder Woman essentially saves the day at the end, because we were about to have a really dark ending where our hero dies, and then Wonder Woman saves the day. So like, was this technically a cameo? I suppose it was, but it was a very important cameo in the fact that she literally brought the main hero back to life. You know, and they exchange some words, and she's like, you know, and he tries to flirt with her a little bit, and she's like, all right, you stick to saving the world, Billy Batson. Like, she knows he's a kid, right? Or 17. He's 17 in this movie. You know, and so it's just kind of played off as like a funny thing, like a joke almost, but she brought the god realm back to life. She brought Billy Batson back to life. She's the savior of the day, really, you know. I mean, he beat the main bad guy, but she showed up and brought him back to life. So yeah, that was interesting. So it is Wonder Woman. It's what's her name, right? Wow, I'm really forgetting the actress's name. Crazy. Anyways, but it is the Wonder Woman that we know. So that's the first thing, right? And that was kind of spoiled in some of the TV spots and stuff, and you know, that's why I kept on waiting for it to happen. I'm like, when's she showing up? Because I saw it in the TV spot, but I didn't realize she was going to literally save the day at the end of the movie. That was crazy. And then from there, we go to the after credit scenes, and this is where we really get into like questioning continuity, especially like moving forward with the James Gunn stuff, because okay, here we go, hear me out. So what we know of the James Gunn material is that we're getting a brand new Superman, a brand new Batman, a brand new Green Lantern, you know. So for all intents and purposes, we have our main characters of DC, Batman and Superman, right? We know they're being recast. They're going to be entirely new people, entirely new continuities, which would then of course imply that everything involving the Justice League and Batman v Superman, like none of that matters anymore, right? Like it's not canon anymore, right? Which of course, it's like, how far does that extend? Because the Wonder Woman that I just saw in this movie was from Batman v Superman, and she had her own 2 Wonder Woman movies. So you know what I mean? So these movies coming out, I'm coming into these movies thinking that these have nothing at all to do with what James Gunn is going to do a year or 2 from now, right? That's the thinking I'm going in with. But then the first after credit scene we get, it is, if you've seen the show Peacemaker or Suicide Squad, 2 of Amanda Waller's minions, like I don't remember their name. It's the blonde agent from Peacemaker, and it's the big guy with the glasses. I don't remember either of their names, but you know, these characters, these were like the main characters in Peacemaker, and they had of course their scenes in the Suicide Squad, both James Gunn projects that he wrote. James Gunn's wife is in this movie, right? So it's like, okay, her character's in this movie, so they're tying this to Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad, right? which is also kind of strange because we've seen James Gunn's slate and he has Amanda Waller, and he even mentioned Peacemaker season 2, which it's like, okay, so is that canon? Is that not canon? And if Peacemaker's canon, does that mean the Justice League that we saw at the end of Peacemaker is somehow still the Justice League, even though, what? You know, because that showed Aquaman and Flash. What's happening here? Anyways, so we see those two characters from Peacemaker and Suicide Squad, and they are here to recruit Billy Batson, right? And at first, I thought they were going to recruit him to the Suicide Squad because that's where I've seen these characters before. But then they remind me of something else. They, you know, the blonde agent from Peacemaker, James Gunn's wife, I forgot that she had one other cameo. She was also in Black Adam, because what she tells Shazam is, hey, do you want to join the Justice Society? And so it's like, okay, hold on. So she was in Black Adam, and in Black Adam, Amanda Waller, she's the one who kind of, you know, maintains the Justice Society in that movie. And now she is coming to Shazam to ask him to join the Justice Society. And she's standing next to the other guy with glasses who was with her in Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. So we have characters from James Gunn's projects. Now they're bringing in stuff from the Black Adam movie, which, again, the Black Adam movie financially did not do very well. You know, The Rock very publicly had like this big breakup with DC Universe, right? So okay, you know, so this is where it gets really messy. It's like, okay, when was this filmed? When was this, what was the plan here? Because Black Adam introduced the Justice Society, and Amanda Waller was involved there. She was in the movie, and so was this, I cannot remember her name. What's the agent's name? Anyways, the blonde James Gunn's wife lady. And now they're bringing that, and that was not a James Gunn project, by the way. Black Adam was not, James Gunn was not involved with that. But now he's using, maybe not even him, but somebody. I don't know who put this in the movie. Well, who was making the plans? Was this Walter Hamada? Was this way back then? Or was this James Gunn who filmed this rather recently? Like, who did this? I don't know. I think on Twitter, James Gunn claimed that he did not, you know, cast his wife in anything, only the Suicide Squad, right? So is he saying that he's not responsible for putting this in the movie? Because what I'm trying to get at is that in his new lineup, he has the Amanda Waller show and he has Peacemaker season 2, which heavily involve these characters we're seeing now. So, you know, it's just got me questioning all kinds of things of like, if they're here in this movie, but this movie also heavily featured Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman that we know, is that all staying? Does this all count still? You know, so it's kind of racking my brain as far as like, when was this scene filmed and put in the movie? Because this feels like it was all done with the intention of Shazam joining the Justice Society at some point and maybe going against Black Adam through that. I don't know what the plan was. What was going on when this after credit scene happened? So it's just kind of been racking my brain for like the last hour since I got out of the movie, because I'm like, okay, hold on. We know Peacemaker's getting a second season. We know Amanda Waller's going to be a show, and likely both of the characters that we saw in the after credits of this movie are in both of those projects, so they're canon, they're staying. You know, and then it's like, so what was the meaning behind this whole, you want to join the Justice Society, Shazam? So I don't know. You guys are gonna have to decide what you make out of that. Maybe we'll hear some comments eventually. Maybe this weekend someone or James Gunn will come out and he'll be like, no, I didn't. James Gunn's either gonna say that he made this scene, he wrote it and put it in there, or he's gonna say, no, this has nothing to do with my stuff. It was filmed a long time ago and it was Walter Hamada's plan or something like that. He's gonna say something. So I don't know what's happening here, because this implies a whole lot of connective tissue between like 3 or 4 different projects. And it's like, is James, is this you? Are you doing this? Because this feels like forward thinking, you know, connective tissue for like the future, but I don't know how much of a future this has. It's very interesting. Okay, so there's that. And the second post-credit scene is just really funny, actually. So basically, if you remember the very first Shazam movie, at the after credit scene, they had the Dr. Evil guy, I forget his name, the bald guy that he's fighting, the bad guy of the movie. He's in a jail cell and he comes across, I think it's called Mr. Mind. It's a worm. It's a talking worm. And, you know, it was supposed to be like this like setup thing for the future. But obviously that has nothing to do with the main plot of this second Shazam movie. So, you know, the bad guy didn't come back, the worm wasn't there. But in this second after credit scene, the bad guy is still in the jail cell. He's grown like this really long beard now because he's, as he says, he's been there for 2 years. And the worm shows up again and he's like, "Worm, where have you been? You came to me and you started talking about this big plan, and then I haven't seen you for 2 years. What's going on?" And the worm's like, "Look, I don't have legs or wings. I literally have to slither from place to place to get things and do stuff. You know, I have this big plot. I have this big plan coming in motion. So it's all going to work out." And then right before the worm can tell him what his plan is, the worm's like, "Oh, hold on, I got to go get something." And the worm slithers away. And so they're kind of making a joke about how, you know, like nothing ever ended up happening from the first after credits scene in the first movie. So they're just kind of joking about that, or maybe they really, someone, again, who knows who made this scene, maybe they were kind of actually setting up for Shazam 3 and they were finally gonna bring this Mr. Mind worm thing into whatever the plot would be with that. Or they could just keep doing that joke. If they, you know, again, who knows, if they do end up making another Shazam movie, it would actually be really funny if they kept on bringing up this worm and he keeps on visiting him in the jail cell and be like, "Finally, okay, now I'm ready to tell you my plan." And it's been like 5 years at this point. It would be funny if they keep on doing that. But again, you know, all this connectivity talk, all this continuation, how much does it matter? How much does it not matter? What counts? What doesn't count? Here's my thing. This movie is not tracking to have a great box office, which, despite whatever plans anyone might have, James Gunn or not, you know, typically if a movie does really bad like this one is projecting to do, it doesn't have any kind of follow-up, you know. So I don't know if there ever will be another Shazam, which means all of the stuff that they're setting up in this one, as crazy as it kind of seems, and you know, like I said on Twitter, it greatly depends on when these scenes were filmed and who filmed them. Depends on how important they may or may not be. Anyways, it could happen that none of that matters if this one is just a huge flop and a huge loss of money, right? Because, you know, Zaslav didn't buy all this stuff to lose money still, so he's not going to be like, "Yeah, let's make another Shazam," if this one does horribly, which it's kind of looking like it might. But yeah, in any case, despite all of that, the movie itself, as an actual movie, it was really fun. It was enjoyable. The creature designs are enjoyable. A lot of the moments really work. The family really works. It's got like kind of cheesy, heartwarming scenes, but even those work, you know? So yeah, the movie's actually good, despite literally everything, despite the DC and you know, Zachary Levi's tweets and whatever else happened there. It's actually a good movie, and you know, like, no one can take that away, right? So whatever happens with the box office, I don't know, and whatever the continuity is, especially with that one after credit scene or mid credit scene, I guess, despite all that, it was good. It was a good movie. You know, and I guess that's really all. It's not all that matters, but I guess it's an important part of it. So anyways, yeah, if you have seen Shazam Fury of the Gods, let me know what you think about the movie, and let me know what you think about the continuity and what's happening there, because again, it could turn out that James Gunn says, "No, I didn't film this. No, it has nothing to do with my future plans. I don't know whose idea it was. it has nothing to do with me, and then that's kind of it, case closed, right? I guess it doesn't matter. Or he could come out and be like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to watch my Amanda Waller show, and it's all gonna be explained there, you know. And then it's like, oh well, I guess this movie matters now, you know. Who knows Anyways, I had a good time, and I have more questions about what the plan is with DC moving forward than I did before, and I did not expect that. You know, I thought I was gonna like watch the movie, have a good time, and then be like, okay, doesn't really matter now. But it was fun. I thought that's what was gonna happen, and I was surprised that I'm now like questioning everything. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.